Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today's guest invites us to explore what lies beneath the surface of who we think we are. It's an absolute honor to welcome Bogdan, a deeply intuitive guide in inner transformation, subconscious healing, and emotional mastery. His path has taken him far beyond traditional coaching into the deeper realms of transgenerational healing, Wingwave, timeline, and recall, healing, breathwork, and meditative practices that reconnect us to the truth of who we truly are. At the core of his mission is the liberating truth that we all carry from our ancestors, which is not a burden, but it's a blueprint for healing, evolution, and becoming. He helps clients uncover the hidden emotional patterns and inherited imprints that have shaped their lives, not to assign blame, but to activate healing. His work is deeply grounded in the understanding that much of what influences our emotions, decisions, and even our identities isn't just personal, it's ancestral. Through his compassionate and powerful guidance, he helps illuminate what's been living in the subconscious so it can be witnessed, honored, and ultimately transmuted. What if the stories passed down to us aren't a weight, but a portal? What if healing them is how we honor those who came before us and liberate those still yet to come? In this conversation, it will be rich, expansive, anchored in deep wisdom, one I trust will speak directly to the heart of your healing, awakening you and giving you more sense of self. And I'm very excited for this. For the Zest listeners, he will also be sharing something truly special at the end, a beautiful gift prepared especially for this episode that you will not want to miss. So make sure you stay into the end to find out what that will be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. I'm feeling very good, thank you very much. As I always like to say, better and better every day, because this way the mind always finds a way to the improvement and doesn't settle for what it is in the moment.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. One particular word that really stood out for me in your bio was transgenerational healing. Just to really, because I think, especially for me, like we can kind of have an idea, but what does that mean?
Yes, transgenerational, it's a very difficult word for most of the people to pronounce it. Has to do with our family tree, with our ancestors, and through all that who came before us. Because we have taken from them all the patterns, the programs, and everything that they have lived. They have transmitted through the genes into our body and into our mind. So most of the time, that what we think or how we behave is not how we are as a being, but is how we were programmed to be because of what they have lived before us. Because I like to say that our mind is like a phone and has different kind of apps inside, but these apps are pre-installed, so we are not aware that we have these kind of apps inside of our mind. That's why it's important to know how to uninstall what doesn't suit us or doesn't serve us to what we want to do, and then to install new apps that are with our vision and to this new world that we are living in. So transgenerational has to do with our ancestors and with those who have lived before us.
Wow. And I just really want to really compliment you on making explaining it in such a really simple term that all can understand. Like, sorry. in this term that everyone can really understand, so that like just the modern way of thinking of a phone. And yeah, when you're done with that app, you want to uninstall it. You don't want it on your phone anymore. So thinking about that, and I'm sure it's not a quick tick and done, how do we break these inherited cycles through conscious awareness?
Yes, I use a technique called Wingwave, and this way, with this technique, I can tap into the subconscious mind of my subconscious mind, or for example, your subconscious mind, and then I can go at the root cause that had created the problem or the limiting belief that you have, or to whom ancestor is related, and then I can help you release those emotions that are trapped there, or what made that connection, and then I can help you implant or put a new program so you can let go of what is not yours, and then to embrace what you would like to have. Because, for example, the most common limiting belief is, for example, in public speaking, that we cannot speak, or we would get stuck, or we are not okay with speaking. But this is something that it's a side of our mind as well, from our childhood and from school, but as well from previously, because we were not allowed to speak in front of our parents, our uh, grandparents. We had to stay silent, so it's kind of, we are stuck with it. But this can be released, and then to put something good inside, and then to truly express our voice.
Wow, thank you so much for commenting on that, because I can 100% relate to that, because although socially I was very outgoing, loved communicating, speaking, there was always something, which is really interesting what you said. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I wasn't sure why, but there was always something when it was in a more professional or a more serious setting where I just had this resistance to want to speak. And I was happy like when we were in our small groups and sharing, and then often someone else would share my idea. But the thought now that I speak at events and often without a script and just from my heart, thinking back to the younger version of me, I would never have imagined that for myself, because for me, it was almost one of the one things that I feared. Not the most, but I had a big fear around. But it's interesting, once I broke that cycle, whether it was something earlier in my childhood or from the past, like we said, from our ancestral, something that happened way, way, way back. There was something in my, whether we want to call it my heart, my soul, whatever, that just, it's like it just broke open, and like it just unleashed this just inner knowing and remembrance. And it was almost like in that moment, the fear I realized wasn't fear. It was excitement. It was actually like, finally. So I really appreciate you highlighting that, because I had that experience myself. So thinking back to this and knowing more about the man behind the mission, because we all pick these different things. Even what I put on LinkedIn recently, actually today, was an article of, I never intended to be a content creator. I never intended to be a podcast host. But I set an intention of what I wanted for my life. And this aligns perfectly. And that was to do my work anywhere, at any time, in any way, on my own timeline. So I think it's really interesting how, I would love your take on this. I think it's super important to be clear about what we want, but maybe not try to manipulate the process of how it's going to look. So yeah, I would love your take on that. Where did this all stem from? Where did all this come from for you to really dive deep into what you do today? I would love to know.
Yes, when when I was 21, I back time I started to meditate and to dive into this realm of meditation and personal development. And I was at the name is Okna Sibiri. There are some lakes with salt that are near my town where I was born, and I was with some friends there. We were swimming, and I don't know if you were in salty lakes. You don't
Mm,
have to swim, at least you can float, as to say. And
yeah.
we were playing in water, and after a while, we were all tired. And I saw that everyone was lying on their back, and I said, okay, then I will also lay on my back. I was staying there, and I said, yeah, I kind of started to meditate. Let's meditate on water because I don't have to do anything. I am floating, you know. And that was my first moment when I had a contact with the divine, as to say, because I was transported into space and it was everything black.
Wow.
And I felt something deep inside of myself, and the voice told me that I have to do a kind of a retreat center where will be like lakes with salt and all kind of facilitations that will help people to get out of their minds and to truly tap into who they truly are. So
Wow.
that was my first contact with something higher than I could ever imagine. And from that point, I started to go to courses, to read more books, and to find out what happened because it was kind of something extraordinary for me. And yes, setting an intention, and this it's afterwards I've discovered that it's very important to set an intention because this way it's kind of have a North Star and you know towards what you want to go. So definitely setting intentions are very powerful because this way we know what we want to attain and to what direction we want to go.
Wow. Yeah, that literally expresses exactly what you said of you had no intention, ironically, of any of that happening. You were just enjoying, you were just in the moment, present, and then boom. I love that. That's really, really transformational and it really just shows how unexpected and exciting life can be, I think. And I too, one thing that really changed my life that I do before I was doing it once a day, particularly in the morning, but now multiple times in the day because I realize the ebb and the flow of the day can change so much. But yeah, setting an intention is really powerful. So thank you for highlighting that. And just to give people an idea of like setting an intention, how would that look for you?
Yes, as well, it's important to set an intention, but as well what you do before you set an intention, because the breath is the most important tool we all have. Is the we have in life seven needs, and the breathing is the first one because without breathing, we could not survive for minutes. For those who are trained, so I take three breaths as 3D breaths. Because through these three breaths I can tune into myself, and then from that place I can truly express the intention. Because most of the times, for example, I was writing something before, or I had a meeting with someone and it was kind of a stressful meeting and there was a lot of negative and also positive energy. So I want to clear everything out, that what happened before or yesterday or 5 minutes earlier. And through these breaths, I can tune in myself, I can release everything that was before, and I can stay in this moment. And then from this moment, without having any thoughts, any emotions, I can truly express the intention that I have, for example, for the next project. Because,
Wow.
for example, if I want to do something now, 3 breaths or 8 breaths, or depends. That's why I use a lot of muscle testing to what I need for this moment. Because if it was too intense what I've done, I need a little bit more breaths to be
Mm.
able to release that and to tune into what I'm doing next. And then I go to the window, I open the window. I like to do it this way at the window to do the breathings. And then I set the intention. For example, I want to do a project or to record a meditation. I set my intention to receive higher guidance to my meditation or to the project that I'm doing, and to truly go into a flow state and to tune into the most powerful information that I can receive for this. So the intention everyone can set for how they want, what they want to do.
Beautiful. Well, from what I heard, it just goes back to self again, doesn't it? Like, even watching you then, and even in you sharing that, I got so much like clarity of, particularly yesterday. I'll be so raw and real and ready, just like I expect from my guests, that it doesn't matter. Like, I achieved so much yesterday and I set my intention, but there was just this almost running in my mind. And even though I got through it, what I knew I could achieve in maybe an hour was just like taking me nearly the whole day. And I didn't breathe. I forgot to breathe. And I forgot to just stop, really like enter it back into my body, into my mind, and just really set that intention. But I'm like, I've set the intention. Why is the intention not working? So I appreciate you sharing that so much, which I know is going to beautifully lead into the gift that you're going to provide today. Just before that, one last thing that I would really love to hear your take on is, based on what we've just shared, emotional mastery in a noisy world. What's your take on that? I feel like you've just kind of shared that already, but is there anything else when, maybe we don't have that time to just breathe and open a window and be in our almost sacred sanctuaries, which I call where I live? I like to feel it as my sacred sanctuary. If maybe we are not in that moment, but we need to breathe and set an intention, and there's almost chaos going around us, what tips and tricks would you suggest?
Yes, for this, that's why it's important to train yourself, because it's everything, it's a training as well with the breathing. That's why I'm doing 3 rounds of Wim Hof or any kind of other breathing techniques to be able to go into a higher altered state of mind and to know how it is in that place. And when I am in a stressful situation, I cannot do a 10 minutes breath work or 5 minutes or 1 minute. I know that through one breath, I can be directly there because I have seen that place, I have been there, I have felt it, and then through one breath, I can bring it back into this moment. So for those who don't have time to do 10-minute breath work or 20 minutes meditation, just one deep breath can take you there. But as I said, you have to train yourself to see how it's in this place,
Yeah.
and then to be able, it's like you create an anchor. You was in Paris, then you just go into your mind and you can go again as to that place. So that's why it's very important to train yourself, and after that, with one single breath, you can be there in that moment. So when
Beautiful.
now happens something like that, I know that I can call myself, and nobody knows that through this breath I have get into myself, and I have didn't let the circumstances to influence my state.
Beautiful. And what I hear from that, like, correct me if I've not heard it right, but it goes back to self and an inner knowing and remembrance. So I see it like when people go to the gym and they work on their legs. They're not then going to expect their arms to be aching at the end of it necessarily. They're intentionally working on their legs for that reason. So I see it as you're intentionally remembering what state of mind you went to, how you felt in that moment, and you're like, I know how to do this. I know what I need to do to get to that state of mind. So I really, really, really love that you mentioned that. And I definitely will be taking notes and remembering this in those days. And I also think in those days, which I really, really concentrated on yesterday, was, do you know what, Shelley? Go bake the brownies. Just give yourself some love. Give yourself some love today, because you know what? Every day it's not always going to be like, okay, do this and then this will happen. Some days, just go with it. Let it go and just flow. Today, for some reason, was just not working. I even went for a walk and I was walking like, and it's just like, let it go. Let it go. So I appreciate you sharing all that so much. Thank you. With that in mind, I'm excited. Before we go into the beautiful gift that you're about to reveal, is there anything more you would like to share about breath and stillness as transformational tools?
Yes, our breath is the most important tool that we all have to be able to tune into ourselves. Because as I said, I use the breath to be able to calm my body, and then when the body is calm, that I can tune better into my mind, and then from there we can do an infinite things. And because I like to say this, that Edison and Tesla, they all knew how to get inside of their minds. And Tesla, every creation that he had created first in his mind, and after that he had brought into this world. So breathwork is the most important tool we all have to self-regulate ourselves when we feel emotions, or when something bad happens, or when we have a bad day, or something happens into our life. I think the most important skill that we should all learn in this new age that we are living is to learn how to self-regulate ourselves, and to be able to turn ourselves into a state from which we can take the best decisions, and to truly navigate into this life. Because most of the time we are reacting and not acting because of the old patterns and programs that we all have inside of our mind.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I can relate to that, because I almost was like, who can I contact? Because I knew I was like wanting something yesterday, and I said, stop. And even though I maybe forgot to breathe, even though we are always breathing, intentionally breathing, I just flowed. So I appreciate that so much. And with that in mind, I would love for you to introduce the gift that you are sharing with the Zest Zen viewers today, which I am super excited about.
Okay, then we will do a short breathing exercise, and after that we will go into meditation. So for those who want to stay with eyes open, they can stay with eyes open, and for those who want to close the eyes, they can close the eyes. We will do some LSD breathing, as I like to say, is light,
Wow.
low, and deep, because this way the connection is more into the altered states of mind. So as I said, light, slow, and deep, and then light, slow, and deep. We will do 5 breaths, and after that you can close the eyes, and then I will guide you into a meditation.
Super.
Then we can start. So, inhale, light, slow, and deep. Exhale, light, slow, and deep. Inhale, light, slow and deep. Exhale, light, slow and deep. Inhale, light, slow and deep. Exhale, light, slow and deep. Inhale, light, slow and deep. Exhale, light, slow and deep. And the last one. Inhale, light, slow and deep as before. Exhale, light, slow and deep. Now you can close the eyes if you had your eyes open and tune into your body. I want you to connect with your head, your neck, hands, chest, belly, legs, and into your feet. Now I want you to imagine that from your feet, roots are going into the earth. They are going into the center of the earth, where a big green crystal is located. I want you to imagine that your roots are wrapping around this crystal, and its energy is flowing into your feet. You can feel the energy how it comes into your body, into your feet, and fills your entire body. Now imagine that above your head, a bright white light is shining. See how this white bright light stands into your body to the crown of your head, flows into the center of the earth. Your body absorbs just the right amount of light that it needs in this moment. I want you to feel those two energies, how they are floating into your body. They play like dolphins in water. Or I like to imagine how two good friends are reunited after a very long time, and they are truly happy to see each other. Those two energies settle into your heart. This is the center of your body. Now I want you to imagine that behind your heart there is a door. Now I want you to open this door, and when you open this door, you see yourself into a place of nature, your favorite place in nature. It could be at the seaside, it could be a mountain place that you have visited, or it could be a place where you grew up. Anything that you see is just perfect. I want you to feel that you are walking, that you are hearing the sounds of the birds or anything that is around you. I want you to see that it's in front of you, maybe the mountain or the water. You can touch the grass or anything that is near you, and smell the flowers or the sea. let anything that is around you to infuse your body. As you walk in this beautiful place of nature, in front of you appears a big tree, and this is the tree of life. It's a very big tree, and as you approach it, you put your hand on it, and you can feel a beautiful energy that flows into your body. This tree helps you to reconnect with your soul, your higher self, your star seed, your guides, angels, ancestors, anything that makes you remember who you truly are. This tree is always there for you in the moments when you're not feeling so good or something happens into your life. This is a place where you are always safe, where you are always loved, where you are always seen and understood. This tree can also answer your questions. For example, you have a question that you're always asking yourself and you don't find the answer. If you come here and you connect with this tree, he will give you the answer that you're always searching for. Maybe not in that moment, but it will appear to you in the following days as a sign or a synchronicity. So keep coming to this tree and connect with it, ask questions, and tune into the loving care that it provides you. Because with time, with just one breath, you can be with it. So stay with that loving feeling as you are connecting with it. That this is your moment, this is your place, and this is who you truly are. You can breathe deeply one time, and then you can say thank you to this tree. And walk back into the nature or into that place that you have sung when you open the door. And then you can pass to that door back into your heart. You can thank the heart. You can thank the energy from the earth. You can thank the light. And you can thank yourself for being here, doing this practice. And with one last breath, you can come into this moment, into this room, into the present moment. You can move your fingers, arms, legs, and your body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And you're right here. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
I definitely feel much more calmer, clearer, and more conscious about my intention for today. So I appreciate that so much. And your time, your expertise, and it was really beautiful.
Yes, and for those who don't know how this tree looks like, I like to have the analogy of, for those who have seen the Avatar, is that tree that those blue people had. So it's a sacred tree.
Wow.
That's something that we all have and that we if we can imagine, then we can feel the power that it has.
I think even in that, I'd love your take on this, but actually how we imagine the tree, I think speaks a lot. So I imagined myself super tiny and this tree was like huge, and actually it was almost dripping down like jewels and kind of like streams of not glitter but like translucent lights. So, and then it's really interesting when you said about you always feel safe when you come to that tree. It just almost molded into this cocoon area in the tree that I
Ah,
snuggled
yes, yes.
into. And I just felt like it wrapped itself around me and just held me. Um, so yeah, it was super, super beautiful, and I'm really thankful for you sharing this, and I'm sure lots of people will reach out. Do you offer more meditations like this? Like, how can people get in contact with you? What do you offer?
Yes, I have a 6 week program that I offer to help to release those transgenerational programs that we have discussed at the beginning, because we most of the people don't know that we are this way because we were not taught about these programs that we all carry. So it's important to clear the soil and to be able afterwards to put the new seeds, because if we want to implant new thoughts, new beliefs, or new programs, it will be hard if the forest is already grown up and it cannot rape out. And then that's why most of the time we kind of doubt ourselves, because yes, I am doing the work but nothing's come out.
Yeah.
First of all, we have to clean and afterwards to plant the seeds, because otherwise it will be hard to build the new forest that we want to have. And I also have a YouTube channel where I post meditations and breathworks, and I also do one sessions, but these, as I said, are good. You have some results, but it has to be as a longer period and to be able to clear the patterns that we
Yeah.
have, and after that to really plant the seeds and to transform into who we truly want to be.
Absolutely. And one thing that I really, really love is how relatable you are and how visually you really explain the process. Because if, yeah, we relate it to life and a garden, an absolute wild garden, we have to clear it. We have to take from the roots, pull it up. We have to nourish the soil. We have to prepare it and then
Yes,
allow it to grow again, and then monitor and continue to pour into the garden to maintain it and keep it nourishing and flourishing and abundantly growing in the way that we want it to. So absolutely, I can relate 100% to the whole process, and ultimately then we want to be able to release almost the hand holding, not that anyone's holding anyone's hand, so that we are confident to continue on our own and know that we can keep our garden, if we use that as a metaphor, nourished and safe and beautiful and abundantly blessed. So I really
yes,
appreciate
yes.
that so much. Thank you. Really beautiful. And one last thing that I always love my guests to do is, just off the top of your head now, if there was something someone really needed to know right now, what would you tell them?
The most important thing is to trust yourself and always breathe to the nose, because this is the only takeaway you take, is the most life changing, because most of the time we breathe to our mouth, but we should always breathe to our nose, in and out. For breathworks, it's mouth, it's inhale to the nose and exhale to the mouth. But as for normal activities that we do, just through the nose, in and out, in and out. So always remember, inhale just through the nose, in and out, as well for activities, because most of the times we say that we should use our mouth, but this is not correct. So inhale just through your nose and trust yourself and what it is, because it is as it has to be. So
Beautiful.
enjoy your
Thank
life.
you so, so much. It's been such a pleasure having you today. And everything that you've provided, I will ensure that everything is in the show notes for people to contact you. And I'm excited for you and all that you're creating, and all that you continue to infuse into this beautiful world. So thank you so much.
Thank you as well. And I took a card, so
Oh,
if
yes.
for the audience that we have here is the Air Guardian, and it says that shift your perceptions. That means it's related to our thoughts and how we think. Yes, for example, if something happens and I react and I kind of say bad things or I have a negative talk inside of my head, I always say thank you for what I'm thinking or what happened inside of my mind, and then I shift, I put something else. So I don't say that it was bad, I thank it for how it is, and afterwards I put something else. I said, or I send love. For example, in traffic, someone cut me off. I said, that is the normal reaction or the automatic one. And then when I'm with my son, I said, love, 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 love. So I'm not screaming to that person, I'm sending love to that person. I'm changing what happens. So next time I reinforce the good ones. When someone cuts me off, I say directly, love, 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 or I laugh at it and not react as they are doing to me. So this with everything. But the most important thing, thank what comes through you and not try to repress it as we do with our emotion and everything. Thank, and afterwards you can change it and put the new one.
Absolutely beautiful. You said two really, really lovely things there. One, going back to the generational healing, that I love that you're modeling that to your son and really, integrating it into his life as well from a young age, which is beautiful. Um, and I also love that you go back to nothing's wrong or nothing's right. We just, okay, allow it to move through us, but don't allow it to become us. And then, yeah, you get the choice to pick what you would like to replace it with or the higher level thinking. So, thank you. Really, really transformational today. And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you very, very much.